Okay, Zippo. So things you noted down that you needed to work on, or we noted down, was that you're going to smoke at 45 seconds pregame, communicate to team, decide where you want to go. Sometimes you're going to mess up, and that's okay. Be able to identify your role at specific times. Understanding your role in the lane can help us understand when we leave, because we don't have a role in the lane. Use smokes. That was very general, but you weren't using smokes at all. And what exactly are we doing right now? Farming an item. Be careful about getting baited into fights. So you've got some notes here. And it sounds like you were thinking a lot about your laning stage. You didn't end up being able to smoke because your teammates were not exactly cooperative. That's fine. Specifically drawing penises on the map. I look forward to seeing that. Oh, I only see your drawings, not theirs. It's okay. Looks like they didn't want to work with you. You know, before you weren't smoking at all. This time you tried to coordinate, and the same result is no smoke. And that's the important thing, is there's nothing lost there. As long as we don't get super frustrated when we try to make calls, because we don't bank on the call, we need to compare what would have happened if we didn't make the call versus making the call. In this case, it's the exact same thing, worst case scenario, as long as your mental stays okay. So I think that making the turn into a 1v1 on the side is fine, and trading with Shadow Shaman a lot. I think this is a fine role in the lane. You don't really want to contest Slark. If you were a ranged hero, I'd want you to be hitting Slark. You did say you were struggling a bit mentally because you were thinking so much during the lane, but that's good. That means that you're improving, and that's like exactly what we want. You know, shifting our focus away from winning every game to thinking as hard as we can about the things we know we need to learn, and eventually it becomes second nature, and that naturally leads to winning. But I'd say the lane's going well so far. So, like, this is where we would have wanted you to, like, walk over, like we talked about before. In your previous game, you had been standing right here. I just want to know what's going on with the opponent, so I would walk over here since they have pull camps and everything. Magnus is, like, close enough to help you. You're full HP and stuff. So sitting behind him here, I didn't really like. I just would have wanted to see this a bit earlier. This is a good hook because they're going to go under tower. I'm not sure about Pudge specifically, but I would have had some sort of like Mango or Clarity or something to give you mana. I think it's a big waste to be sitting here with no mana. I think all of your hooks have been good so far. We just don't have any mana. What you're doing here is much better. You're already nailing it. Like, this is much better. Now, the way that you think about this is that your positioning is based off of them 2v1ing you. So the reason that this play by you is so good is because if you are doing this, you're forcing Slark to choose between creeps and you. See this? You're forcing this decision. So now, since you now need to understand that's what you're forcing. So your entire decision of your positioning is based on this guy. Because every second he's running towards you, he's missing creeps. So that means every second he's running towards you, you need to run away from him, right? So right here, you would run... Oh, I accidentally rewound. Right here, you see him running right here, and you would back up. And that would be your focal point. You're talking about, like, understanding your role in the lane. It's like a very dynamic, very fluid thing. The whole role, quote unquote, the job of both cores is to get creeps. Your job as a 4 is to maximize this guy's creeps and XP and to minimize this guy's creeps and XP. So any move you make that draws his attention away from creeps dying is fantastic, as long as you don't die. Which, you know, you walked in, got 2v1'd. But this is all great, like, learning curve stuff, you know? Like, I already noticed that, like, you were used to sit right here doing nothing. This time, you walked forward, forced him towards you. He went back. You walked over. Like, this is way better. And, you know, like I kind of mentioned to you, like, learning comes with fuck-ups. So, it looks like you're consciously doing things that you weren't doing before, which is fantastic. So, it's going to kind of, like, reinitiate the process here. Really important that you don't tank those range creeps outside of tower, that you actually let them deal damage to the creep wave. I like this hook because Slark wants to be hitting creeps, and he's now busy dealing with you guys. I would say this feed is less egregious. I'm wondering if, like, the second point in Rod is better than a point in E. I'm not actually sure. I trust your gut on that one. You have, like, a mid-Luna. You're checking around the map, going for the rune at 6 minutes. This is fantastic. Looks like you're just gonna take it away. Okay. You have like a Luna versus anti-mage mid. This is just not a lane I'd be in. So like, this is where I would have walked back top, but luckily Mag just like solo killed this guy. So you left your lane, picked up the rune. I would need you to look back at what's happening here and see this and walk this direction. Like you would see a dive building here and you would walk back. Anytime you leave your lane, you need to, I give the analogy pastry in the oven. You need to check on it. Doesn't mean you need to do anything. It might just be cooking, but you need to be checking on what you're leaving behind so you don't burn the kitchen down. So that's the problem with what you're doing here, is you're just not looking until too late. I want you to imagine that the pastry in the oven, you check it every few minutes, and Dota, a minute is a second. You know, you're checking it every few seconds. Just making sure nothing's going too bad there. So I'd want you checking bottom lane right now. Mid lane, I'm not sure like what your goal is to look at here. You're maybe worried about a support coming or something. Okay, Dawn ulti. Nyx canceled it though. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so you're buying smokes. You talked about that in your submission. That's fantastic. So you're looking around the map, deciding where to go. Already noticeably more looking around the map. You're going to catch the bounty hunter. This is a nice play. Nice. Very nice. So this is where, like, I would have loved for you to collect information. Like, you just killed this bounty hunter. Like, now what's going on in the map? Play's over. You're not doing anything. What's going on here? What's going on here? You know, that's what I would have wanted you to do. But still, I'm nitpicking because you're doing better things. So it's good. But after plays, it's generally great to be looking around the map. I don't love this smoke because we're level 5. Oh, Lion's level 6. Never mind. Okay, Lion level 6. That's a great smoke. You have like a Nyx carry Luna mid or some shit? This is weird. Okay, so you're just all over the place. Fantastic. So oddly enough, you had no Nyx ulti for a bit, and you had no Lion ulti. This is a moment where I would have wanted you to use your W plus your E to like kill a jungle camp and get 6. Like this is a moment where looking at this, looking at this, looking at this, you're supposed to farm 1 creep camp, right? So just really slowly but surely expanding our awareness of our levels. I know you go mid to take XP, which is like reasonable, but I think using the 50 mana on E would have been better. You don't really take damage from the jungle and stuff doing that. Okay. Nyx is 6, making a play. Just never used your 3rd spell. Nice try, nice try. So, it's interesting that you TP back to this lane, right? Because when you TP back to this lane, why? What's the thought? What are the odds that you kill a Slark with ulti, with Nyx with no ulti, and Dawnbreaker with ulti? Like, what are the odds that you kill this guy? You know, I'm thinking, like, the one person I want you to be playing with is Lion, and the one person I don't want you to try to kill is Slark with the given circumstances. But you TP to Slark. So, in my head, I'm thinking, what is your goal there? How did you envision that working? Like, yeah, you hook him, but what stops him from, like, ulting, Dark Pacting, and going away? And why go to Nyx with no ulti, no HP? Okay. Luckily, they just kind of came to you that time. That was fantastic. You TP to the Luna. I think we're getting a little too reactionary. So for me, what happened is you guys got 2 kills. This is like fantastic. You guys got 2 kills. You used Vendetta. You used Finger. Now for me, you're in purely farm defensive mode. So like, I'm going to use W plus E to kill the stack. Like instead of what you're doing, I'm going to like monitor my teammates who are farming. Like, that's what I'm going to do right now, because we're not in playmaking mode. We're in farming mode. So, like, I'm going to look at this. Oh, he's almost got blink. We're going to look at this. Okay, he's going like, he's got a shadow shaman on him. The only time I'm TPing is to, like, hook my Luna to safety or something like this. Like, I'm in defensive mode now. So I feel like what I'm now noticing is you're probably doing a lot more on the map, but you're not resetting, changing the mode that you're in after you guys get kills. Like, there's no off button for you. I would want to see like 5 or 6 extra creep camps cleared in the last like 5 minutes. There's these times where you could have cleared camps because there's no reason to do anything, and you're not, and you're trying to do something. So that's like my biggest criticism coming out of what I'm watching now. So, like, sitting behind teammates like this, I would say, is not good. We're in farm mode until we have our ults. For me, it's like, okay, great, we killed the shaman. If he just didn't walk into the hook, he's fine. Like, this is like a low effort. This is like a low probability play in comparison to just killing this. Okay, now we've got Lion Finger and you're making a smoke. Like, this makes sense to me, but we're not, like, looking at top at all. Okay, now we are. So the reason why this happened while you smoked is because you were busy trying to make something happen instead of farming to set up the map. If you farm to set up the map, push some lanes, defend the guy farming, let him push lanes, then the bad plays like that are naturally going to happen less. You can't prevent them entirely, but you'll make them less likely to happen. So, like, I'm not trying to say, like, your fault, but I'm saying it will minimize that happening. So you smoking and then having all the lanes pushed into you, that's, like, why this is happening. Okay, we got a kill on that guy. Okay, it could be worse. Lion didn't take the fist facet, bro. Okay, I just ask what you're thinking with the TP. Not that I'm, you know, I just want you to ask yourself that question, because for me, I'm not sure what you're thinking. Nick's already killed the guy. I think we talked about it last time that you, on average, probably TP out of base too much. But, like, you've already been working on a lot, so it's just something to add whenever you're ready. But you could spend, like, a week consciously thinking about your TPs out of base. Like, that alone could be the sole focus of your game. Okay, so yeah, I like this. I like the smoke. You got Lion Finger. You're smoking to a core that was farming. Yeah, this is fine. Magnus is gonna be here late, but he's still here. Nice. Okay, sick. Yeah, you had all your spells. That makes sense. Now go back to farm mode. What do we do now? We're in farm mode. I guess it doesn't look like it. I mean, I guess we're actually technically invading the anti-mage's farm, so maybe that's technically doing like a farm thing. Okay, you guys are pushing a wave together. That's fine. Nyx needs some mana. Oh. Okay, you know what? I like this play a lot. I said you're in farm mode, but you guys are like camping a wave together and killing a guy that's farming, so that's nice. I like that, actually. Okay. Nice. I mean, obviously, you just god tier pudge hooks. Not much to say about that. Other than god tier pudge hooks. 20 flesh heap pog. Okay, so what are we doing now? Let's look at the map. What are we thinking? We see Nyx farming top without ulti. We have Lion that has ulti. What items does he have? I don't know. I haven't seen him get checked. This guy has a Midas. This guy's going butterfly. So for me, I'm trying to combine my teammates right now. So I would like smoke my team and TP bottom. Like, I'd be like, guys, let's go to the Luna. I hate this that the Luna's like farming alone and you guys are together with your plays. So like that's what I want you to see that Luna just died. This was very predictable. So like if we rewind to like the snapshot of the map, you guys have playmaking potential. Find them where you think they're going to make a play. So what do their heroes do? They have Slark and Bounty Hunter. They're going to hunt the guy on your team that's farming. So if you pause right here and like it's going to take a lot of time for you to get to this point of like fast decision making. So I don't want you to feel like I'm expecting you to be able to do this yet. But you'd be thinking, we have our ultimates. I have a smoke. What play needs to happen in this game? We want to fight them. Where are they going to be? They are going to be hunting the guy that's farming based on their lineup. So we need to connect where we are to the guy bottom. So if I make a call, draw a line on the map through the gate, go through the gate, get to the Luna, Lion TP's bottom, you guys fuck them up here. Like, absolutely fuck them up, right? Like, this play, they just get destroyed. But we end up chasing Bounty Hunter and we leave Luna. Like, it's like, I get that, like, this stuff's hard. But I want you to see, like, based on, like, what I was watching, I knew that something like that would happen. And it's the point is, like, things are predictable in Dota once we understand the heroes in the game and our role in that. People are predictable because they have to play the way their hero functions. They have to. Otherwise, they just lose anyway. Okay, so now Luna's really farmed. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like one death from your carry is not bad. We're talking about min-maxing here. Taking your decision-making to, like, another level. It all starts, though, with when do we want to make a play? Where are we going to find them? If we don't want to make a play, what farm and disasters can we avert? You know, like, what are we trying to avoid happening in that time? Like, you're kind of in two modes. And that's why smokes are so good, because they kind of like make you question this mode, because they're for when you think you're in fight mode and you want to make it happen, and you need to, then you get to craft a puzzle. You know, me crafting that puzzle for you is like many instances of learning to smoke, right? So you'll get there over time, but I'm just emphasizing what we're wanting to see. I would have much preferred less core items here. I mean, maybe that's just my preference, and maybe it's worse at your MMR. I probably would have gone, like, Force Staff and Lotus. Just more utility. I would think it's more my job to... If I'm gonna go in, I'd buy BKB. If, like, that's my plan. I don't think it's my job to, like, deal damage this game. I'm not sure what you think your job is with the Ags queue up. Maybe you don't end up buying it. But for me, it's like BKB if you want to go in, Lotus and Force Staff if you want to be ready to counter-initiate. That's like, for me, the two ways I would look at playing this game. I would strongly consider a Ghost Scepter as well, since their cores are Dawn, Anti-Mage, Slark, all of which have like a significant right-click percentage of damage. So, yeah, if I'm going to, like, farm on the map by myself like that, I would definitely want a Ghost. Yeah, it's really interesting you go Ags. I mean, it just seems like a luxury purchase, and I don't think... Like, I would not go luxury purchases here. Luxury is, like, something that's really nice, but it doesn't, like, fix a problem. Sanjin Yasha is often that. Something like... Butterfly. Like, drums are kind of a luxury purchase. Okay. Looks like the game's pretty stompy from here. So I noticed a lot of good things. There's absolutely progress for you, and that's what these sessions are all about. So I'm happy to see it, man. Yeah, I think the next step for you after this is to really pay attention to the switch. Am I in fight or farm mode? How that plays in with smokes? How that plays in with you farming the map? Because the reason why the fight or farm mode question is so powerful is you begin to identify reasons you would be in fight mode and why you'd be in farm mode. And those moments in the game where you're level 5 and 90%, you know, and your teammates' ults are on cooldown for 60 seconds, you're going to go hit a jungle camp. Where is it? It's like right. Like in these moments, you're going to hit a jungle camp because you'll be like, am I in fight or farm mode? You'll be like, this guy doesn't have resources, no ultimate for 20. This guy doesn't have money resources, no ult for 60. This guy's just hitting creeps. I'm level 5 and 3/4. Okay, I'm gonna go hit a creep, you know? And that's the times where you're going to shore up your, like, every time you do this a little bit better, your MMR is gonna go up from here. It's not like black and white of, did you perfect it? It's like, how quickly did you recognize fight or farm mode? That's step 1. And then how quickly did you optimize, and how optimized is it, the thing that you're doing? And that's like a really long, drawn out journey, but that's like one that will take you very, very far in the game of Dota 2, especially as support. Like, it matters on every role, but on support, you know, it's so crucial to be thinking about these type of stuff because you have to see the bigger picture. You have to collect so much information, and your brain is going to snap out of like autopilot mode, and your vibe is then going to include this stuff. Like, we want to get the questions I'm asking you into your vibe state that you talked about in your replay submission. So hope this helped, man. Thanks for signing up. I enjoyed working with you, man.